sleepy coastal town of Harmony Bay, a lighthouse stood tall, guiding ships safely through turbulent waters for generations. However, as the years passed, an unsettling legend shrouded the lighthouse. It was said that on stormy nights, the ghost of the lighthouse keeper, Captain Ezra, could be seen pacing the tower, his lantern casting an eerie glow over the sea. One stormy evening, a curious young woman named Eliza, fascinated by the legend, decided to spend the night at the lighthouse, hoping to catch a glimpse of Captain Ezra's ghost. Armed with a lantern and a diary, she climbed the spiraling staircase. As the storm raged outside, Eliza reached the top and felt an otherworldly presence. She watched in awe as the ethereal figure of Captain Ezra materialized before her. His spectral form was transparent, and he carried the same lantern she held. Captain Ezra, trapped between realms, told Eliza his story. He had been the lighthouse keeper in the 19th century, and he'd perished in a storm while trying to save a stranded ship. His lantern, lost in the shipwreck, was the source of his restless spirit. Moved by Captain Ezra's tale, Eliza decided to help him find peace. She realized that the lantern in her hand was the key. She held it out to him, and the ghostly Captain Ezra accepted it with gratitude. With the lantern back in his possession, he smiled, his form growing more solid. Captain Ezra's ghostly figure began to fade away, and Eliza watched in awe as he slowly dissolved into the air, finally finding peace and passing on to the afterlife. As he disappeared, the storm outside miraculously calmed, and the lighthouse beacon shone brighter than ever. Eliza's brave act of compassion had freed Captain Ezra's spirit, and the legend of the haunted lighthouse was transformed into a story of redemption. From that day forward, the lighthouse of Harmony Bay continued to guide ships safely, now with a sense of serenity and gratitude in the night. In a remote mountain town, an old abandoned asylum known as Whispering Oaks cast a shadow over the community. The locals believed it to be cursed, its walls echoing with the tormented whispers of its former patients. Legends spoke of a malevolent presence that resided within, said to drive anyone who entered to madness. A group of urban explorers decided to test their courage and spent the night in the asylum. Armed with cameras and flashlights, they entered its decaying halls. As the night deepened, eerie sounds filled the air, and the group grew increasingly unnerved. In the heart of the asylum, they discovered a hidden room, its walls covered in the scribblings of a former patient. Among the frenzied writings, one sentence stood out: "The key to freedom lies in compassion." Intrigued, the explorers delved deeper into the asylum's dark history. As they uncovered records of the asylum's cruel treatment of patients, they realized that many had been wrongly imprisoned and subjected to inhumane conditions. The malevolent presence that haunted the asylum was revealed to be the collective anger and suffering of these forgotten souls. The explorers, moved by the injustice, decided to perform a compassionate act. They held a solemn ceremony to honor the memory of those who had suffered. Their actions seemed to soothe the restless spirits, and the asylum grew eerily quiet. The group left the asylum at dawn, and as they stepped into the morning light, they noticed a subtle change in the atmosphere. The once oppressive aura had lifted. The asylum, no longer a place of dread, seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. word of their experience spread throughout the town, and the townsfolk too began to acknowledge the past injustices and work toward healing. Over time, the asylum was transformed into a memorial for the forgotten patients, and the tormented whispers faded away. This story serves as a reminder that even the most haunted places may hold secrets of compassion and redemption, and sometimes confronting the darkness can lead to healing and closure.